welcome back to my Fortune and Glory playthrough. We're about to begin turn 5, but I have a couple of little things to correct. The first thing is I put this temple out here last time, and because it is in a deep jungle area, it is worth 2 extra fortune. The 2 extra fortune are actually supposed to go on the card to be plundered from the temple, so I'm doing that right now. And the other thing is I inadvertently gave Crowley here 2 turns last time. He was readied, and he should have just come out onto the board and not actually started the adventure. So I'm actually going to retroactively say, because he had 2 turns last time, he did not find the temple, which we're going to say is happening in turn 5. So that gives us a little bit of a bonus. However, the Inquisitor will be coming out onto the board this turn. Anyway, that is clearing up a couple of little things. And now it is initiative time. No ones, please. All right. So Lee is going first. Oh, and the other thing is I'm not using the optional rule, which is you can move 4 spaces no matter what you roll. I'm just using the straightforward roll to move rule. And if Lee gets another 1 here, what can I say? Here we go. Lee is white, Angel red. All right. Lee can go halfway around the world. Rolls a 6 for movement. Okay, and of course the funny thing is I only want her to move 1 space, of course. So she's going to move here to Japan, and she can start hunting down the amulet of the pale moon. And we have Angel Espinosa rolled to move anyway, because if she rolled a 1, she could have got a card. She is in a cliffhanger. She's been discovered by the evil Nazis. So she's going to have to fight them. All right, that's the movement phase. And now we're into adventure phase. All right. So Lee, with her huge 6 movement, who only had to move 1 space, is now looking for the amulet of the pale moon. And she's going to start doing the first danger. And the first danger for Lee is going across the perilous bridge. It doesn't look too difficult. It's an agility check of 4+, and she only needs 2 successes. Well, her agility is 5 dice. So I would be a little surprised if she doesn't make it. But of course, now that I say that, she won't. She needs 2 successes, 4+, and she's got 2 successes right off the first roll. First danger passed. Only worth a potential of 1 glory, though. So not a whole lot there. So that's 1 success for her. I'm just going to put that on her card so I remember. And now she only needs 1 more danger pass to actually retrieve the amulet of the pale moon. And how appropriate, it's actually her occupied territory. And it says danger Nazis. And she needs to make an agility test of a 6+. Which again, good for her. She has 5 dice, or she needs a cunning test of 5+. She only has 3 dice. I think she's going to risk it. She's going to go for the 6+ agility test. She has 5 agility. She is going to roll the 5 dice, and she's going to see if she can succeed. She needs 1 6, and she gets 2 6s. Excellent job. She actually retrieves the amulet of the pale moon. You can see here it was only 2 dangers to pass. So she actually retrieves that artifact. She gets 3 glory for passing this danger. And now she's going to collect the glory onto herself. So that's 4. And she now has an artifact that she can try to sell maybe next turn. That's excellent. That's 1 more artifact the Crimson Hand's not going to have. And now we're over to Angel Espinosa, and she is trying to get the Ring of the Golden Mummy. However, right now she's in a cliffhanger, and it says draw a Nazi's enemy card. So she must draw a Nazi enemy card and fight whatever happens. And what she draws, oh man, this does not look good. This looks like a flamethrower team. They have a defense of 1, fight dice of 5, wounds of 3. Yowzer. And 6s count as 2 hits. I don't think she wants to actually fight these guys. I think she's going to try to use cunning to escape from them, which means she won't collect glory, but she will pass the danger and escape them. And she just has to pass this once. She's already had 2 successes there on that artifact. So if she can escape, she needs cunning roll of 5 plus, and her cunning is 3, and she needs 2 successes. And I keep grabbing extra dice when I don't need them. Okay, 3 dice, 2 successes. Let's see if she can do that. 1 success. 1 more to escape, and a 5. She escapes from the flamethrower team. That's a good thing to escape from. You don't want to be burnt to a crisp. All right. She's past that danger. She got no glory for that, though. So she passed this cliffhanger, which means she now has a total of 3 successes, and that's all she needs to collect that artifact. So she now has, this is great, she has now collected an artifact, the Ring of the Golden Mummy. Excellent. So now she's got an artifact, and Lee has an artifact. That will be the end of the adventure phase for our heroes. Awesome, our adventuring heroes. So they're off to a good start, but of course now we need to do the villain phase, which is always a pain. So let's go to the villain phase. All right, and the first thing we do in the villain phase, of course, draw a lovely villain card. And, well, Vile Tactics, we've seen that one already. It says roll once on the Vile Organization's tactics chart and move the villain track 1 step forward. Okay, so we're going to move the villain track 1 step forward. They're going from 7 to 8. That's not good. And we need to roll on the Crimson Hand tactics chart. And there's something else I forgot to mention. When you roll in the tactics chart, you also need to roll for allies, but we don't have any allies in the game right now, so I've just been ignoring that. But it is part of the Crimson Hand expansion. Basically, allies can become corrupted by the Crimson Hand. But like I said, we don't have allies, so we're just going to roll on this table. We're going to see what happens. All right, so we're going to need 1 dice, and we're going to roll, and we're going to see what happens here. And that's a 6. Not sure if that's good or bad. 6, Secret Society. Draw a random villain to become an additional active villain, placing their villain card near the Vile Organization record sheet with the figure in the ready state. In the ready state? Yikes. This new villain is considered to be part of the Crimson Hand faction in addition to any other faction that may be a part of. If this villain successfully collects an artifact or is KO'd, discard them from play. They are no longer considered an active villain. Okay, we're going to have to follow that. Give me 1 minute to grab a random villain to add to the pile, and I'll come right back. Okay, so I've randomly drawn a villain, and we get Joey Smiles. He has a search of 5, combat of 4, defense of 1, and wounds of 6. He's crazy. Once per fight round, rerolls all of his misses. Wow, we don't want to run into him, especially with that orders to kill. So basically, this is the miniature from him. This is from Treasure Hunter's expansion. So he has like a dual pistol-wielding figure. However, he's actually holding a Tommy gun, so go figure with how they figured that one out. Anyway, he's going to go over here in the ready state, which is not good for us, over in the villain area. Okay, now I'm not quite sure what we're going to do. We only have 2 artifacts left on the board, and we're going to have 3 villains out now, so I'm going to have to read the rules on that. However, we have just finished the draw a villain event card. Now it's outpost time. And we have 2 outposts. We have the one in Chicago, and we have one in Paris, so we have to make a roll. On a 1, 2, 3, we will not get Crimson Hand Acolytes coming out. On a 4, 5, 6, we will. Oh, man. 2... Count them, 2 Crimson Creeps are coming out onto the playing field. So we got 2 of them. One's going to go on the Crown of Atlantis. The other one is going on the Tomb of the Golden Sun, which is here. Ha! Bad news for us. All right. Now, it's the villain adventure step. So like I had said, he has already had his turn. He would have been out on the board, ready to go. He missed his roll last time in turn 4, but I'm saying that retroactively it's what's happened. So he has not found, he was unable to find the temple. He's still lost in the jungle, but he's going to have 2 dice to roll to find it next time. And out now comes the Inquisitor, who is ready to roll. And he's going to come out on the Crown of Atlantis, because that's basically the next artifact that's out on the board. Now I'm just going to have to check one rule because Joey Smiles is coming out, and I'm not quite sure where he's coming out at. So let me just check the rules. I'll come right back. Okay, so the only thing I can really see in the rule book is that a villain cannot come out on a artifact space that already contains a villain. Now, currently in the co-op game that I'm playing here, we are at the villain adventure step. Joey Smiles is ready to come out to the board, but we only have 2 artifacts out on the board right now, and one has Crowley on him and one has the Inquisitor. So I am ruling that Joey Smiles is just going to wait back in headquarters and possibly come out next time, because what we have to do now is go into the end phase. And of course the end phase, we're going to go over to the artifact. That's where we replenish the artifacts. So that happens after the adventure phase for the villains. So let's go over the artifacts, replace a couple of them, and I'm sure the Crimson Hand are going to do some evil things as well. Okay, so here we are at the artifacts, and I forgot to remove their tokens off the board after they had been retrieved by our adventuring heroes, so that's awesome. First thing we're going to look at is the Tomb of the Golden Sun, which has an acolyte on it. They're going to take 1 fortune, bring it back to headquarters, and we're going to add 1 success to the temple, because of course we want it to collapse on his head. The other thing is on the Crown of Atlantis, we are going to add a success over here because this acolyte is actively searching for the Crown of Atlantis, and there's only 3 dangers on here. So now we have to replenish the artifacts that had been collected, and the first thing we get is the Shadow of the Monkey God. It's only worth 3 fortune, and there are 4 dangers, and this one's got a curse. It says, while on this adventure your defense is reduced to 0 and it may not be increased. So that's a low paying one to try to get to. So let's find out where that comes out on the board. That is going to come out in Siberia. Wasn't Lee just wandering around there recently? Okay, out in Siberia. And the next one, and the last one we have is the Mask of Power. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's worth 5 fortune, also 5 dangers though, so pretty high risk place, but that may be where our heroes have to go. So we'll find out where that's coming out, and that is going to come out in the Andes. Okay, a little bit of South America action here. So out to the Andes it goes. All right. Now, the only thing we have to do now is go back over to the Crimson Hand headquarters and see if they've scored any points this time, and unfortunately I think they may have. Okay, so to wrap up the Crimson Hand activities, they do now have 3 fortune here at their headquarters, and for every 3 fortune they cash that in for 1 point. So they're up to 9. They're also up to no good. That's not good. 9 is getting pretty close, in my mind, to 15. All right, we'll go back to the board for a slight recap, and that will be the end of turn 5. And so let's go back to the board. Okay, a very successful turn for our adventuring heroes. They've each acquired 1 artifact. Now, if they can get to major cities and sell them off, we see Lee here is very close to Tokyo. It's probably where she's going to get. And of course, Angel is actually pretty close to Moscow, so she may want to pop in there to sell them off. Currently, our adventurers have 4 fortune, which doesn't sound like much. They need 20 to win the game. The Crimson Hand is now at 9 points on their way to 15. That's getting a little too close for comfort. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking my videos. And join me next time for turn 6. Thanks for watching.